Lauren Boebert seems to maybe be in some tough political waters in the next few weeks leading up to the midterms, because not only has a couple polls come out recently, or have a couple polls come out, showing that it's a tight race. It's a toss-up between her and her Democratic challenger, but also the candidate who ran against her in the primary, so a Republican, is endorsing her Democratic opponent, which is not common in American politics. Usually, even if you challenge someone in a primary, you endorse them in the general because they're of your party. The most severe that is common is they just don't endorse either. But to come out and support the opposite party's candidate is definitely an interesting and big move. And in this close of a race, you want everything that you can get. So here's a little bit about that. When a political candidate wins their primary election, it's usually traditional for their rivals from the same party to give their support begrudgingly or not to the winner. Not so in Colorado's 3rd District. Incumbent U.S. House Representative Lauren Boebert won her primary in June. She beat rival GOP candidate, State Senator Don Coram. But after she quashed his U.S. House dreams, Coram says he's now throwing his support behind Boebert's Democratic opponent, Adam Frisch. The fact that he ran against her would suggest that Coram was already not a fan of Boebert. However, for a sitting GOP lawmaker to throw their support behind a Democratic candidate is unusual, to say the least. Quote, I have had the opportunity to visit with him and get to know him better over the last few months. And this is the GOP individual. I know him to be decent, honest, and persistent. He has demonstrated that he is more interested in representing the district than becoming or being a celebrity. That's important. Let's elect someone who cares about representing the majority of people in the middle that are fed up with extreme partisanship and juvenile antics. Which I agree with that statement about her juvenile antics being associated with Lauren Boebert. And we are hoping that she'll lose. I think it would send a good message to the more extreme radical candidates that are coming up and wanting to run, that maybe that's not the right thing for them. Maybe American politics is shifting back towards reason. I don't think that's the case, but we can hope. And then here's a recent poll that also looks pretty good for Adam Frisch. Boebert received support from 47% of likely voters, while Democrat Adam Frisch landed at 45%, making the race a statistical tie within the 4.4 percentage point margin of error. 7% of voters are undecided per the poll. So a statistical tie, a toss-up, and a very, very close race there. It would be great to see Lauren Boebert, one of the most radical people in Congress. She's up there with Marjorie Taylor Greene in the brain leaking out of the ears type politics and understanding of all these issues. And so, as I said, if these types of candidates keep becoming successful, we're going to see more of them. They're going to continue to be common. If they get trounced or if they get upset in this situation, for example, maybe that's an indication that America is not on board for the long term with this type of ideology. Again, is that the case? We'll see. That's why the midterms are so crucial. But it would be wonderful to see Lauren Boebert lose in November.